Oh, you know what's up. You know the move. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's another episode of the 2-2 Podcast. Listen, I'm so glad you could join me today. This one's going to be a good one. I know I say that every week, but I really do believe that this one's going to be a good one. And so, let's get to it, y'all. Y'all know what I'm going to say next. Grab your friends, grab your family, grab your notebook, grab your iPad, grab everything you need for this one. We're going to go to work. See you in a minute. Have you ever wanted to record a podcast but didn't know the way? Well, I've got good news. Let me tell you about something. It's called Anchor. And Anchor is the easiest way to record a podcast. Let me explain. It's absolutely free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So here's what I need you to do. Please download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. We have all said the following phrase in our lives. Numerous times we've said this phrase, and here it is. I've got a lot going on. And I want to do a poll in just a minute, so get yourself ready. I know you can't see me, I can't see you, but we're going to do a poll for the sake of the episode. So let's get it. Okay. But we've all said the following phrase, or we've heard the following phrase numerous times in our lives, and that's, I've got a lot going on. But in so many cases, we never get past the acknowledgement phase of it, of knowing, acknowledging that we never get past acknowledging that we got a lot going on. And a little bit later, we're going to talk about getting past the acknowledgement phase and moving forward. And the reason why we never get past the acknowledgement phase is because we're so deeply mired by our clutter and our disorganization that we feel that even in acknowledgement, we'll never get out of the muck and the mire of disorganization and being cluttered. We never feel that there's any hope. We give every excuse for why we'll never get out of it. We will try to get to it. We will say we'll get to it, and we'll procrastinate because it can be difficult. We'll never get to it out of fear of fear of failure. Well, maybe not fear of failure. We never get to it out of fear. We're scared to do it. We're scared to take that stand and make that leap from acknowledgement to freedom. But today we're going to go into our garages. Today we're going into the garage. We're going into not our literal garage, but our mental garages. We're going to go into our basements. We're going to go into the attic, whatever. If you don't have a garage, if you have a basement, if you don't have a basement, if you have an attic, if you have a storage room, we're going to go into our mental storage rooms, our garages, all of that. And we're going to go from acknowledgement to freedom. From acknowledgement to freedom. But before we go any further into how we get from acknowledgement to freedom, we have to identify those things that are cluttering our lives. We have to identify those things that are cluttering our lives. And what is it, you must ask, if you're asking? The first thing is comparison. We are oftentimes caught up in the comparison trap. The gravitational pull of comparison can clutter our lives. We're always comparing one another to something or to someone, or we're always in the midst of comparison, and we can be so trapped in comparison that we often can't move forward because we are trying to live up to vain comparisons to other people and other things that have done things before us. When we are called to be us, we're not called to be anything else. Our charge is not to be anybody else but us. Our charge and our call in life is not to be anything else but what God has called us to be. But we are oftentimes so caught up in comparison that we have to be just what we have to be like what other people want us to be. Comparison. And if I could add something here, other people's opinions clutter our lives up. Other people's opinions clutter our lives up to the point that we never move forward with our vision and our purpose and what we're called to be. Other people's opinions. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and we were talking about what we should have been and what we could have been if we wouldn't have procrastinated. And we'll get into that in just a minute. And maybe I should have said this at the end. You know what? Forget it. I'm going to hold that story. I'm going to tell you a story in just a minute about procrastination. We'll get to that in just a minute. But number 2, revolving doors. Here's a story I could insert right here. This year, as I've gone into podcasting and writing again and recording and doing so many things, and really trying to live my purpose and really do things involving ministry and helping people and mentorship and teaching and whatnot, I've dealt with the revolving door of friendships, the revolving door. We have to deal with, in life we'll have to deal with revolving doors. We have to deal with people playing with the revolving door because it's convenient. When I was a kid, I used to like revolving doors just to keep going in and going out, going in and going out, going in and going out. It was something fun about a revolving door because it wasn't like a regular door where you had to push or pull. And so many times, in our lives, we have people that like to go through the revolving door, but never stay in the building. Somebody right now who's dealing with the revolving door of support, the revolving door of friendship, the revolving door of connection, the revolving door of relationship. We got so many people that come in but don't stay. There's a season for everything. There's a season for some of the connections that we have. Not everybody can come with us on the next level of our lives. I understand that, but at the same time, it's so hard these days to find people that are committed and consistent, that we have to deal with revolving doors. And so many times we are so mucked up and mired within seeing people leave and come and go and come and go and come and go, that we never become who we truly want to be because we're so worried about the revolving doors. I want to let somebody know that's listening to this episode right now. People come and go. People come and go. It's going to happen. We've all dealt with the revolving door. We're going to deal with that revolving door for a long time. There are people in our lives that will say that they will be there forever. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it has to be said. It has to be reiterated because there's somebody right here, right that's listening to this show that has never heard this show before. Oh man, listen, there's somebody on here that is dealing with this, that needs to consistently hear that you are going to deal with the revolving door of friendships, connections, and relationships. You're going to deal with the revolving door. It happens. But stay focused. God is going to place the right people in your life that will push you into purpose. He's going to connect you with the people in your life that will not leave. That will stay committed and that will stay on the wall with you. That will hold you accountable. That will be there when you are not doing well. The revolving door. People come and go, but stay focused. Number 3, overthinking is another thing that clutters our lives. Overthinking. There's a quote about overthinking that I love. Worrying about how things could go wrong doesn't help things go right. Worrying about things going wrong doesn't help things go right. We're always thinking about what if things go wrong. There are more cons than pros to taking that leap, to making that move, to making a life change. We look at the cons more than the pros. And some of the cons of that are the silliest things to think about. Some of them. Well, what if people leave? What if people don't understand? It wasn't meant for people to understand. If they leave, they leave. There's a scripture in the Bible that says this. They went out from us because they weren't for us. Because if they were truly for us, they would have stayed with us. And there's a version of it that says they showed their true colors. There are some situations in our lives with this part right here. And I know I'm talking about friendships and connections again. Here we go. I know. Whatever. You talk about the same thing every week. Whatever. Okay. Cool. My show. Okay. That was kind of rude. I'm sorry. Okay. Listen. I know I talk about it every week, but somebody that's listening for the first time needs this. That you got to stop. I'll say this. Let me rewind. We went out from us because they were not for us. Because if they were truly for us, they would have stayed with us. And they showed their true colors. They showed who they were when things weren't going right. They showed who they are. And when people show you who they are, believe it and keep moving. But so many times in our lives, we overthink, we overanalyze. We overthink, what if things go wrong? What if people leave? What if people don't want to deal with me anymore? What if people don't listen? And believe me, before I started this podcast, I had the same idea. I said, what if nobody understands? What if nobody listens? What if somebody thinks what I'm saying is stupid? What if somebody doesn't think what I'm saying is right? What could go wrong? I used to think about all the things that could go wrong about doing this. But look at us now. Look at us now. Look where we are. Together. We're all growing together. This isn't just the show that I host. This is our show. But sometimes we overthink about all the things that could go wrong. And it doesn't allow the right things to come around. We have to change how we think when we're moving forward, because overthinking and overanalyzation will clutter our lives so much that we'll never move forward past the negative things in our lives. And negative things are going to happen. Tribulation is going to happen. Issues happen. But you will overcome those things. Issues happen. Stuff happens, but we have to go from overthinking to we have to get away. We have to declutter ourselves and get rid of overthinking and overanalyzation. Number 4, not letting go of the past. I have had an issue with not letting go of the past. I have had an issue with not letting go of people. And sometimes when you are such a strong person, when you're a strong-hearted person, when you are a person that just has a compassionate and loving person, a loyal person, you have a problem with letting go of people. You have a problem with letting go from the past. You have a problem with letting go of the way things are. We have a problem with letting go. And not letting go is cluttering our mind. It's cluttering our lives. It's cluttering our vision. It's cluttering. It's causing junk. We gotta. I'll give you. Okay, for example. Okay. We'll have an email. If you don't have an email, there's an issue. You need to get an email. Okay, maybe not. Okay, whatever. If you have an email address, we have a junk file. We got a junk file. We got our junk files take up a lot of space on our email. We got junk that we won't let go of mentally. We got junk in our garages that we won't let go of because of some type of sentimental value. But sometimes the things we think have a little sentiment aren't really sentimental. They are just because for some we want to hold on to them because at some point, some point in our lives, they were means of sustenance and stability. Or so we thought. We have a problem with letting go of people and actions and things of the past. And because of that, we get cluttered and we never move forward in our lives because we can't let go. We have to learn to let go. Because if we do not learn to let go, what we won't let go of, when we try to let go of it, it won't let go of us. How many times in your life have you procrastinated about letting go of someone or something that by the time we try to let go, it's too late, or things have been completely messed up, we're locked in forever? We have to learn how to let go of what's holding us back. Not letting go is cluttering our lives. Number 5, overcommitting. We have an issue with overcommitting, being the jack of all trades and master of none. We have a problem with what I said last week of saying yes to everything, committing to everything. We have a problem with over promising and under delivering. We have a problem with over promising but not delivering. Overcommitting to things that we shouldn't be committing to. We're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Say it to yourself. Hey, self, you're doing too much. Say it again. You're doing too much. We're doing way too much. We're overcommitting to things in such a great way that it causes not only clutter, causes it to be clutter, but for our system to be overloading because of overcommitting. We have to learn again how to not say yes to everything. We can't be at everything. We can't be at every conference. We can't be at every convention. We can't be at every table talk. We can't be at every event. We can't be at everything. We can't. Sometimes we have to learn how to say no. We have to learn how to say no to commit to certain things in order to become decluttered. Overcommitting is causing cluttering. Number 6, quantity over quality. We value stuff over the quality of things. We value many, a lot, over quality. We value a big circle of friends over quality people. We value a bunch of something over the quality of that something. We value quantity over quality. And quantity over quality is cluttering our lives because we want more and more and more and more of it instead of getting people that was getting things that have value, have great and major value. Sometimes in the midst of valuing quantity over quality, the value of a certain thing that you goes down. That's why, have you ever noticed when they release a shoe, they don't put a whole lot out. When they release a special edition retro or a special edition dunk or a special edition, whenever they release something that's special edition, they don't release a whole lot of them. Because there's value in quality over quantity. The value can go down when a lot of people have it. When you have a lot of something, or somebody has, there's a lot of those going. The value can go down on certain things when everybody has it. Procrastination. Here's the story I wanted to tell. I was going to tell at the beginning. I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine about what we should have been and what we could have been doing. But because of procrastination, we didn't. And sometimes procrastination can come this way. And here it goes. Sometimes we procrastinate simply because we've allowed ourselves to listen to what other people wanted for us instead of listening to what God has for us. And so I think I will. I think I'll go back again. Let's rewind the tape. Sometimes we procrastinate. Sometimes we get stuck in a place because we have taken the time to listen to what other people wanted for us instead of listening to what God had for us. We get stuck in a place because procrastination. We get stuck because we're procrastinating. We're dealing with procrastination. We get stuck in a place where we're here. We get comfortable. Oh, God has something for me? Oh, I'll get to it in a minute. Oh, God wants me to do this? Oh, I'll get to it in a minute. I'll get to it later. Eventually. There's a t-shirt that I love, and I wish I could find it. I'm going to find it. It says, Procrastinators Unite. Tomorrow. We are always pushing our purpose back. Sometimes it's out of fear. Sometimes it's because we look at what's going on in our lives. We got a lot going on, and we push our purpose back because we're cluttered. And some part of that clutter is procrastination. Sometimes our purpose is pushed back because sometimes we push back living our purpose because we listen to other people instead of God. Some people sometimes tell us to stay here, just to stay here, when God is telling us to move forward. Don't allow other people and other people's opinions to cause you to procrastinate and not live your purpose and not listen to what God has to say about you. I know I'm talking about God a lot. That's what I do. That's just what I'm about. But I need to be here. But we got to go here. We got to go there. Because there's somebody right now that's listening to this show right now that is dealing with stagnation and procrastination. They're dealing with hearing other people's opinions about what they should and should not be doing, hearing other people's opinions about how they should move and what they should do, and instead of what God is saying, what God is saying about what they should do. We got a lot of people right now that are listening to that. Believe me, I've been there. I'm still, and in some cases, I'm still there, or I'm still trying to figure it out. Where I'm a late bloomer. Better late than never, but never late is better. And sometimes, and that's from Drake. Drake said that. If y'all know, of course y'all know. Of course, Drake said, "Better late than never, but never late is better." And sometimes we procrastinate, and because of procrastination, we end up not doing and not starting where we should be. We should be further along, but because we procrastinated, we became cluttered, if that makes sense. So, now that we have acknowledged what is cluttering our lives, let's acknowledge the things that are cluttered. Our vision, number one, is cluttered. Our vision, our purpose is cluttered by everything. Our minds are cluttered. We can't think straight. We can't move straight. We can't work. Our work ethic is terrible. I know mine has been horrible at times. Our vision is cluttered. Our minds are cluttered. There are so many things in our lives that are just completely grade A, messed up. Our visions, our minds. But here we go. Here's the part that we don't think about. Our systems are cluttered. What is a system, you may ask? Yes, it's not just a game system. It's not just a sound system. It's not just your physical system. It's not just your immune system. Here it is. It's a set of principles or procedures according to which something is done. An organized framework or method. Our methods are cluttered. Our systems are cluttered. Sometimes our systems are cluttered because we allow other people to add to our systems and add to our things when we should have stayed here, and we should have stayed in a place where we should have been consistent about our systems. Our systems have inconsistencies. Our systems are overloaded because we decide to add things that shouldn't be there and subtract things that should be there. Our systems are cluttered. Our systems are overloaded. That's what it is. We have to understand and we have to acknowledge that we have to clear our systems out because our systems are cluttered because of inconsistency. Because of stagnation and procrastination, our systems are cluttered because of these things. We have to declutter our vision. We have to declutter our minds. We have to declutter our systems. So, here we go. We've gotten through all of this. We've acknowledged what's cluttered in our lives. We've acknowledged the clutter in our lives. We've done the poll, asking ourselves how many times we've said, "I've got a lot going on." We've acknowledged that we've got a lot going on, but we must, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, we must get past the acknowledgement phase in our lives. Here we go. Let's go to work. Are you ready? So, let's open the garage. Let's have ourselves a little bit of a garage sale. Let's get rid of the junk that is infiltrating our lives as we speak. Here we go. The first thing that we must do to start our garage sale is acknowledge that we've got clutter. Acknowledge that we've got junk in our lives. We have to acknowledge the junk. But here's the part. Remember what I said at the beginning. We never get past this phase where we just go, yeah, I got a lot of junk in there. I got a lot of junk going on. There's a lot of junk around me. Never get past that. But here's the second part. Here's the next level. We must do inventory. And how does the inventory go? You must ask these questions. You must ask, is this beneficial? Is this going to be something I can use in the long run? And does this have value? Here we go. Let me go back. Is this beneficial? Is what I'm doing in my life beneficial to my purpose? Is it beneficial? Yeah. Is it beneficial? That's number one. Number two. Is it vital? Is it something that is going to help me in the long run? We got to ask that question. Is it beneficial? This is going to help me. Is this going to help me in the long run? We have to ask these questions as far as our inventory in order to understand and realize that some things need to stay and some things need to go. We have to do inventory. Does this have value in my life? Is it adding or subtracting? Is it an asset or a liability? That's what we have to ask in the inventory. Then we must make that decision. After we've inventoried and made that decision, we have to make the decision. Is it vital? Is it not vital? Is it a liability or an asset? Is it going to help me in the long run? What is going to happen? We have to do inventory on our lives and on our relationships and our connection and on all parts of our life. We have to do that type of inventory in order to make a move in our life. We have to make that move. We have to make that decision to make based on our inventory. Is it vital? And if it's not vital, here we go. Sell it. Sell it. We got to sell it. We have to remove it. And I'm not going to say sell it as in sell it for real, but you know what I mean. We have to be willing to remove some things. We have to have the strength to remove some bad habits. We have to have the strength to remove some bad friendships and connections in our lives. We have to have the strength to do certain things in our lives in order to become organized again and remove the clutter in our lives. We have to make the move. Say it with me. Make the move. We have to make the move to declutter ourselves from all the things in our lives that want to hold us back. Whether that's our thinking, whether that's procrastination, whether that's being comfortable, content. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay in this place. I'm not intended to stay right here. I'm intended to move forward. I'm intended to live. I'm not meant to sit on the sidelines for a long time. I'm meant to be in the game. I'm trying to get in the game. I want to be a contributor, not just. I want to be a contributor, not just a consumer, but a contributor. We got a lot of consumers and not contributors in our lives. In this world, we have a lot of them. We have to be willing to remove those things in our lives that clutter our lives each and every day. So I ask you the question. I challenge you this Tuesday and for the rest of this week. Do inventory of those things in your life that are causing you to become cluttered and frustrated and angry and stagnant and to cause you to procrastinate. Find those things. Do the inventory. Get past acknowledging and get free. It's cool to acknowledge what's going on, but eventually in your life you have to be willing to say enough is enough. I have to get free from this. Today's the day to declutter your life. So with that being said, listen, I'm glad you were here for this show today. I'm glad you listened. I'm glad you were here to join me. Thank you so much for all that you are and all that you continue to be. The 22 Podcast is moving on up. We're doing some great things, and God is amazing. I have to say that, and I say it all the time, the best is yet to come. To God be the glory for all all the things that he has done for this show. Listen, Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. right here on Anchor, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Listen, gonna be another great one. And of course, it's another Outwork You Thursday. And September 3rd, there's gonna be a big announcement coming soon, sometime this week, about a little format change for the 22 Podcast. Not gonna be anything major. I mean, it's going to be noticeable, but you'll see. That's all I can say about it. So with that being said, please be on the lookout. Go to AlexJ_live. That is AlexJ_live for all the information regarding regarding an announcement that will be happening sometime this week or next week. I'm not going to tell you when, but you'll find out when you find out. Listen, don't forget to follow me again. That's AlexJ_live. That's my personal page. And don't forget to follow the show page at 22_podcast. That's the word 2, the number 2_podcast. And don't you forget, the 22 Podcast has merch. That's right. The 22 Podcast has merch on Threadless.com. Please go to the website at 22apparel.threadless.com. That's the word 2, the number 2, apparel.threadless.com for all of your 22 apparel, 22 Podcast apparel and merch needs. Listen, support it. So many great things happening, and I want you to be a part of it. So with that being said, I will see you Thursday afternoon, right here on the 22 Podcast. Be blessed. See you in a couple days.